that's the end of the PowerPoint that I have to recap some of the things we talked about. Are there any questions before we leave for today about these things we've been talking about? Any questions? Yeah.
Did the Indian population, after the slave trade ended, did they intermingle with the African slave populations?
Yes. Yes. No. In fact, that's a very good question, and scholars have written about these connections because, as one of you said, I think it was you, Chase, many of these captives that are coming from Native communities are women and children. And a large number of these slaves coming from the West Indies and Africa are male in these early years. And so you have this, this intermixing, this intermarriage, and scholars have talked about these unions, but also the cultural influences that both Africans and Native peoples had to the shaping of low country culture. So that's a really good question.
They say it took 7 tribes to defeat us. 7 tribes. You know what else there's 7 of? Continents. That means the entire world was against the melanated people of the Americas, and we still here. This tribe that you're talking about here was one of the biggest participants of the destiny swap of the people of the Americas and the rest of the world. They cosplayed us. They enslaved us. They fought for our demise every step of the way. When we were begging, praying not to get hung from trees, they were fighting against us. And y'all get under my comments and literally be like, we can't go against the Native Americans. We gotta align. For what? They don't align with us. The whole world be against us and y'all be trying to show them grace. Y'all be trying to give them grace. Fuck them. They will atone for their sins.
The Muscogee Nation Supreme Court rules descendants of freedmen are entitled to full rights and status within the tribe.
This comes more than 5 years after those descendants filed a lawsuit in tribal court after being denied citizenship. News on 6's Jonathan Cooper has more on this ruling. Jonathan?
Craig and Lori, the Muscogee Nation Supreme Court says the tribe's 1866 treaty with the United States required all freed slaves to be incorporated into tribes with equal rights, and says denying their descendants citizenship breaks that treaty. The Muscogee Nation initially denied the 2 plaintiffs citizenship in 2019 because they said they couldn't trace their family history to the blood roll. A tribal judge ruled in 2023 that the Citizenship Board broke the law and should have given them tribal status because of their family history on the Creek Freedmen roll. The Citizenship Board appealed and asked for 2 justices to recuse themselves, which they did. Tribal leaders also passed a law allowing them to appoint special justices to fill in for the recused justices. But the tribal Supreme Court struck that law down in April as unconstitutional, which let this freedmen citizenship case finally proceed. And Lori, tribal Supreme Court justices ruled today the tribal judge was correct in ruling all Creek Freedmen descendants should be allowed citizenship within the tribe.
All right, Jonathan, thank you for that report. Principal Chief David Hill says they are reviewing that order in order to understand it. He says the tribe may need to ask for reconsideration so they can get clarity and move forward in a legal way.
The back of Beyonce's Buffalo Soldiers shirt is not surprising. That's what black nationalism is. And that's what the imagery and the rhetoric of black nationalism is. The idea that Native Americans resisting colonialism is you're a bad guy for resisting settlements is insane. And the other thing that's really sad about it is that the Buffalo Soldiers were former enslaved people that were forced to do that. African Americans were used as a tool for colonialism. They were used to continue colonialism. It's just really sad to see that history that was forced and those actions that were forced upon former enslaved people celebrated. That should not be a celebration. Them fighting indigenous people who were trying to be like, no, you can't take this from us. That is not a celebration. They are not the bad guys there.
All the natives talking about Beyonce and the Buffalo Soldiers, shut the fuck up. Tell the whole goddamn truth. You enslaved us. That's why the Buffalo Soldiers had no problems eradicating your asses. Tell the whole goddamn truth. Excuse me, the Buffalo Soldiers was born in 1866, and the Cherokee did not actually free their slaves until 1863. You think 3 years is enough fucking time for me to goddamn forgive you? Even after Django was freed, do you know Django still took that money? Like many people did? You give us the option to take down people who enslaved us, we'll have no problem with it. Even the people who didn't enslave us, like the freaking Creek Indians, they would turn us in to slave catchers. So you got what the hell you deserved. Don't cry. Don't deflect. The moment you freaking deflect, you just make me that much angrier. As someone who's a direct descendant of people who were actually enslaved by the goddamn Choctaw. Fuck off.